Welcome to Think Tank, powered by Vodacom. It's a rugby show that starts like South Africa and finishes like the All Blacks. Told you that New Zealand was going to win.
Jeepers Nostradamus.
No, sure I didn't.
You have a chat to Jerome Garces beforehand.
Your French mate.
Oh.
You were going on about tranche. You set this whole thing up.
Just so dreadful, those French referees. They're not good for us.
Yeah, I think all referees, other than South African ones, are pretty average.
Well, shame. I mean, it's so subjective these days. You know, it's got a law book like this, and he's got to interpret it himself. But let's define first that we are not going to build sour grapes on this show.
No.
You know, I think we're seeing a lot of that this week, and it's irritating. You know, and we're getting almost getting a reputation for having sour grapes. Yeah, whinging. Oh, it's dreadful. You know, it's been proven that McCaw's try wasn't a try. That said, I'm not sure any line-out would ever happen if it was blown to the
never have scored a try then.
Exactly. I mean, every driving maul, you probably got 4 going up early.
Sure.
So, you know, it was, for me, it was so much better than a driving maul. You know, it was eloquent. You know,
innovation.
Yeah. They'd done some thinking, and it was a fantastic try.
I agree.
So yeah, 100%. No sour grapes. I personally think that the Boks are 100% on the right track. And having moved away from a Frida Pre, Mornestan kick into the air, a banner chase, Dwayne Vermeulen running off 9 or 10,
right.
You know, we've moved away from that. Andre Pollard in all the attacking stats, you know, getting carries to the line, passes away.
Yeah.
You know, it's changed the way the Boks are playing rugby, and that is fantastic. And I always said, you know, if we have to endure a few losses while we evolve, I'm for that. I think that's where we're at now.
Sure, we've lost 2 in a row. We've lost against Australia and the All Blacks. It's a World Cup year. I think, for me, it was just a phony war. I think that the Springboks and the All Blacks came out to play exactly like they weren't at the World Cup. And, you know, you saw a lot of line breaks. It was fantastic rugby to watch. I don't think either of those guys are going to employ those tactics when everything's on the line.
Yeah, certainly you're probably right, you know. and Jake's right, you know, World Cups are won on defence. Yeah, as you were saying before the show, you know, you've never seen the All Blacks miss that many tackles.
Yeah.
The Allender, Creel, I mean, they were basically standing in the tackle and wondering who to offload to. So probably the level of defence would be upped quite significantly.
Yeah.
There'd probably be a lot more kicking from both 9 and 10.
Yeah.
Because, you know, every game is a win game, whereas Saturday was a little bit more exhibition-like. But, you know, it was wonderful to watch.
It was great to watch.
It was a great test match.
It was nice to watch a test match again where the stadium was full. There was a lot of vibe about the game. People were actually interested in the result. That was lovely.
Yeah, it was fantastic. The one thing that I have to pick up on is the granny scrums.
Sure.
So now I have this little book, which you've thrown at me before on this show, that has some interesting snippets that I'm going to read to you.
Creative writing.
Yes. There's 4 things that come to mind. They have to be designated front row players.
Right.
And you have to have a tight head, a hooker, and a loose head in a 23-man squad, 100%.
Right.
But it says nothing about your loose head not being able to play tight head. In fact, a suitably trained and experienced front row forward may start the match in another position.
Right.
Okay? But the real clunker is this one. Uncontested scrums will be ordered. It is not the responsibility of the referee to determine the suitability of trained front row or their availability. This is a team responsibility. And I think, you know, Skulk is a relatively inexperienced captain.
Right.
And I think he just accepted it a little bit too easily.
Right.
He didn't challenge it. I'm pretty sure that if it happened to the All Blacks and one of the Franks brothers came on, I mean, Richie McCaw would be going hard saying, listen, this guy plays tight head, he plays loose head, he plays every weekend.
So we're talking here about Trevor Nyakani not being allowed to play tight head in the second half and therefore uncontested scrums.
And he's, of course, played tight head for the Bulls. In fact, he's been on the bench probably for the Boks as a tight head.
Yeah.
Here's the even bigger clunker, though, is that if scrums are deemed uncontested, so the granny scrums have been decided, the team that caused the granny scrums, so Vincent Koch gets injured, has to go off, may not be replaced. So we're having a full tonk at Jerome Garces for allowing the Richie McCaw try.
Right.
He could have had us down to 7 players.
Right.
You know, and that was
in the pack.
In the pack, of course. not on the field.
That would have been amazing.
Because that was the crux of the matter, is that the granny scrums came at such an inopportune time. They lose Whitelock, they go down to 7, the Boks are scrumming like machines, really scrumming really well. Even, you know, their feed, it would have been 8 versus 7, and we had them. You know, and it was a really, really good opportunity to go 27-17, and I actually don't see the All Blacks coming back from that. Again, not sour grapes, Facts.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I think that we can live with this as a loss. Because yes, we lost the All Blacks at home, but my word, you know, had things gone slightly differently, we're 27-17 up with 18 to go.
Sure.
Hell of a good position.
Sure. So, Tank, we've got a test coming up against Argentina at Kings Park next week. Jean de Villiers is available again. There's a possibility there'll be a bit of a selection contention for Heineke. Talks like question of the week, which comes from Durban Poison. He wants to know at what stage should experienced selections move over to allow informed players into the mix?
It doesn't bring conditioning though.
True.
And I think that's going to be the key decision that Mayo makes now. These guys are going to be coming back a week before the World Cup.
Right.
How conditioned will they be?
Yeah.
Can they play this game that the Boks are now playing? Do you want to disrupt a midfield pairing of Delander and Kriel? It's glorious.
Yeah.
You know, Dwayne Vermeulen, I mean, do they go back to then running off 10? Or are they going to run it a bit more and get guys going out wide? So experience, yes, and maybe that is going to be the key, is you bring those guys back via the bench, you know, and then you have a better integration, a better impact, and then conditioning is less of an issue.
Thanks, Tank. That's game over for this week, guys. Thanks very much for tuning in. Please keep the questions rolling in using the hashtag ThinkTank, and we'll see you next week. Ciao.